Hi, thanks for coming to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about how to increase the value of your home. Just want to give you some tips, whether you're trying to sell your home or trying to increase the value of your home because you want to appraise the value or pull a HELOC loan, which is a home equity line of credit, to do some remodeling or for education or for investment. So I'm going to give you some tips, but we're going to assume that you're going to sell the home. So I'm going to talk in the sense that you are thinking about selling, whether it's going to be in 2 or 3 months or maybe a year or 2 years away, and give you tips on how to keep increasing your value because when you sell, you want to get as much equity back as you can. So again, I'll give you a few tips. The first tip is to increase the value of your home is to have a great curb appeal. You must have a curb appeal in the front as well as in the back. So what can you do to increase curb appeal in the front without spending too much money or getting poor from doing it? The first thing you can do, which is very important, which will give you a great return on investment, is to change your front door if it's not already updated. And we're assuming that your house is kind of okay, average condition, you want to sell, so the tips will be in that context. So if you change your door, it makes a big difference. On top of that, if you change your garage door, if it's in the front, that'll make a big difference as well. Because if a client comes to see your home, they park the car, they're coming to your house in the front, they're going to stop at the door, wait for the agent to open up the lockbox. So all that 2 or 3 or 4 minutes, the only thing they have to judge that house right now is your front curb appeal. So if that's not attractive, they may not even come inside. So it's very important that you have the great front curb appeal. Other things you could do is add some plants and flowers and shrubs and trees, etc. that'll help enhance your front of the house. You want to attract, whether it's an appraiser or the buyers, you want to attract from the get-go, and the front will do that. What can you do in the back to do curb appeal? Because that's also curb appeal, and a lot of people love the backyards, if there is one, and assuming this is a house and not a condo or townhouse. In the backyard, depending on how much you want to spend, if you don't have a patio, you may want to add it for your enjoyment and also for your increase of your value. You may want to add a fountain or a bird bath. All these things not only give you enjoyment if you're into those kind of things, but also increase the value of your home. And when the buyers come and take a look at it, they may like it or they may not like it, but at least if they like it, that adds value to it. Again, you can add fruit trees, beautiful flowers and plants and shrubs. All this increases the value. If you want to do and add landscaping, like jacuzzi, for example, or a sauna built in or over the concrete, little things like that adds a lot of curb appeal and increases the value, and you also get to use those things as you're living in if you're not going to sell it right away. But I would not recommend to put a jacuzzi just to sell a house, but you want to add it if you're going to enjoy the house, enjoy the jacuzzi or enjoy the patio. So it has to go hand in hand. The second tip that I can give you to increase the value of your home is as soon as they enter, once they open the door, you want to make sure that the front of the house or the entry in the house inside is very appealing. One of the things you can do is if you have older carpet or a dark carpet, people like light and bright and open space. So if you have darker carpet, at least have it cleaned and shampooed so it's really nice. And if it's darker, you may want to put a brighter carpet so it's neutral and brings the house out as far as light and bright. The trend right now, and this is June 2020, the trend has been that a lot of the homeowners, I'd say more than half the homeowners own pets. And homeowners with kids have a lot of allergies these days. So a lot of the homeowners have started taking out carpets from the living room and the family room and the hallways and all that, and going to hardwood floors or tiles. In fact, I remodeled my house a few years ago and I put tiles and took out the carpet. But it's okay to keep your carpets in your bedrooms and hallways upstairs or other rooms so it's more comfortable. So one of the things you can do in the entry is maybe consider changing your hardwood floor to hardwood floors or tiles. And the other thing you can do is if you have a lot of photos and a lot of clutter in the entry, you want to take them out. And also the walls need to be nice and bright. If they're old paint, then you may want to change it. If you don't want to paint the whole house, then the entry, when they see those walls, whether it's going to be your side wall or the living room or dining room, depending on your floor plan, all those things help. Because remember, people buy space. And once they come in, and if they feel like there's a lot of clutter and a lot of furniture, then they feel, oh my gosh, this is not a 1,500 square feet home I'm looking for, and this looks like my 1,000 square feet home in my apartment. So then they're not gonna, quote, buy your house. So open floor plan, light and bright, and what I'm gonna call enthusiastic entry is very important. The third thing that I'm gonna talk about is two-in-one things. I'm gonna talk about kitchen and your bathrooms. I'm gonna take it as one tip. One of the most important things when improving the value, especially for when you're selling a home to buyers, is obviously the kitchen. Kitchen is very important. A lot of people make a decision based on the kitchen. If they don't like the kitchen area, when I say kitchen, it's the kitchen and the dinette area, or the connecting to the family room. So all that area has to be very appealing. So what are the things you can do in the kitchen without spending too much money? I'm not saying go and remodel the house, which will cost you anywhere from $10 to $20, $30, $40,000 on an average house today. So what you might want to do in the kitchen to make it more appealing is start with the countertops. If they're old countertops, if you have wood or paintable countertops, if you don't want to spend the money, then at least paint it or cover it up with some layers. If you do have regular tiles when you bought, let's say 20 years ago, and you still have the same tiles, maybe you want to opt for granite countertops or quartz or anything you can to make it more updated. So start with the countertops. Sinks are very important. If it's an old sink, you want to put a contemporary sink, double sinks or stainless steel sinks, or sinks with nice faucets on it. And those improvements go a long way when it comes to buying your house and not buying the competitor's house in your neighborhood. The other things you can do is, if you don't want to change the cabinet, for example, you may just want to paint or retouch your doors or varnish the whole cabinets, make it look shiny. You may want to change the knobs of the cabinets, put some linings in it, or maybe a few cabinet doors, you may want to put a glass in there. So there's a lot of little things you can do, and I can talk about it all day long, but in this short video, I'm suggesting that you start with your kitchenette without spending too much money if you're thinking about selling it. Like I said, appliances is a choice. Here's an example. If you notice, when you look at homes for sale in the kitchen, a lot of them say kitchen is upgraded including stainless steel appliances. There's a big draw towards stainless steel appliances. So if you're remodeling and if you're buying appliances, regular appliances versus stainless steel, you may want to spend the extra dollars to give you extra dollars when you sell. So stainless steel, I don't know what it is, but it has a big appeal. Just the words I see in most of the homes, and it's very appealing to the buyer. So when you say, hey, kitchen upgrade with granite countertops and stainless steel appliances, wow, that means they spend a lot of money. And a lot of home buying is psychological. So what you say and what they see and what they hear and what they perceive about the kitchen adds value to it, to the one buyer, maybe not to all the buyers. So hopefully that tip will help in the kitchen. Same thing with when it comes to bathroom, let's say master bathroom or your hallway bathrooms. In the bathrooms, floorings are very important. You must have a nice flooring. Toilet can be newer, or you can put an energy efficient toilet. A lot of the cities give you free toilets because they want them to be energy efficient, or not say energy efficient, but water efficient. They don't want you to waste a lot of water. So you may want to go call your city and see if they have those. Because you can say, hey, new toilets with water saving feature in there, and that does help. Although it won't increase the value, but it's a little thing that's psychological. And when you have 10, 20 things that add up, it increases the value. So sinks are there, toilets are there. You may want to change the faucets, make them look nice, or contemporary faucets. Maybe the shower heads you want to change. If you have a tub and you don't want to change the tub, for example, if you have a tub, I've sold many homes where before we put it in the market and they were older tubs and they were stained or pink colors and old bluish colors. I've reglazed them. The sinks and the tubs, I have reglazed them. Average cost today in Orange County when I've reglazed tubs is about $400 to $500, which is not a whole lot. It looks brand new. So that's another option. So little things like that help a lot. I have a few more tips, but before I give you the two other tips, I wanted to ask you to subscribe to my channel. You can subscribe at the bottom. There's a subscribe button, and also click on that bell button. So when I release a video, which I do every week, you'll get notified. So please do that. If you want to do it right now, that'll be great. Also, last week I did a video on how to increase the equity in your home. Not how to increase your home value, but your equity in your home. So if you want to see that video, at the end of this video, there's a link on the video itself. And I will also put a link in the description below, so you can look at that video or watch that video to give you ideas on how to increase your equity in the long term and also instant equity. So hopefully, if you need to, please check it out. So let's get to the next tip, how you can increase the value of your home. As I mentioned earlier about the front curb appeal. So when they park the car, assuming they're buying the house, and they walk to the door and wait on the door, they're going to look at the windows. Windows changes the house. When I bought my house 20 years ago, after 5 or 6 years, I changed the windows. They were the original windows. And when I changed the windows, it looked like a totally different house. Not only that, it saved me a lot of energy on gas bill and electricity. So I'm not saying that when you go sell a house, change all the windows, because it could be pricey, especially when a home has, my house is about 20 windows, and that could be anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 expense in today's market. So if you don't want to change all the windows, maybe you want to change some windows, maybe the front windows, curb appeal, and maybe the back windows, maybe the side, you can leave them out. So it's all up to you, but changing windows and putting energy efficient windows does make a lot of difference, not only to you in saving energy and your electric bills and gas bills, but also increase the value of your home overall. And the appraisers, when they do appraise, they do look at things like this. They look at your windows, your appliances, your tiles. So all this is a factor, not only in the buyer's eyes, but also when the appraisers, when they come with their notebooks and make all those notes, they see all those and put a value on it, either plus value or a negative value. And the last tip, I have a lot of tips, but these are the top tips that I can mention to you. The last tip that I would give you is that whether you're selling your home in the next 2 months or the next 1 or 2 years, you're planning on it, you can do a lot of little things all the time. For example, I'm looking at a lamp right now in my backyard, and it's a newer lamp. So you may want to change the lamp, for example, or the lights in your kitchen or the bathrooms. Put recessed light, for example. Change the knobs on your doors, change the locks, change the screens. So little by little, when you do little things, it makes a big difference and it adds value physically and financially. But when it comes to the buyer's eyes, what happens is when buyers look for homes, and for example, if I take them to a house and the carpet is really dirty and the paint is kind of old, the first thing buyers think about is, hey, me and my wife work, we don't have time to paint and carpet, let alone get quotes, right? So that's one negative. Then they think, oh my gosh, it's going to cost me $15,000 to change the paint and carpet. That's what they think. We know that it doesn't cost $15,000, and I'm just giving you an example. We know it costs maybe $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 to paint and carpet. Of course, looking at average home, 1,500 to 2,000 square feet. But in the buyer's eyes, if you have not done that, they think, oh my gosh, I have to change everything, I have to upgrade. And they put a value, and it's too much of a value they put on there, and they knock that price out of your house value. So little things, if you keep doing it, keeps adding to your value, and they add up. Hope it makes sense. If you have any suggestions, please jot them below, or if you have any questions or if you need resources, hit me up and I'll be glad to contact you. Thanks again.